Hello and welcome back to Finding the Last Promise, 0% Growths. In this video we're tackling Chapter 23, another long winding castle map. Go over the unit that joins us this map, we get Alice, a unit with B rank swords, A rank lances, and pretty good base stats, on par with Leopold, although she's a fair bit frailer. You'll see a few familiar faces during this map. A few particularly important familiar faces. Sorry, I just clicked out the window. One of these familiar faces is Storm. You'll also notice that an assassin has joined us. He joined us after the last map. Because we did not attack him in Chapter 22. His name is Shadow, and he's a very helpful unit, and not only in just this map, but throughout the rest of the plot. This was recorded in 3 parts, however at one point I'll be cancelling the second part and just playing up the last one on my own, because I remember the inputs for it. There's a fair bit of hesitation in this, because it's a long map. The longest one, time-wise, it took for me to figure out the longest map I've done in one sitting time-wise. Among the familiar faces, you might recognize Storm. Storm gets to promotion level after this map, and his Ryan's Bolt is being held onto in case promoting him helps out. During the prep segment, I sold the Ocean Seal and the Fell contract, which granted me an extra 20,000 gold to play with. Sorry, 30,000 gold to play with. But nice. I buy a few Iron Blades, a Steel Lance. It's 2 Iron Blades, 1 Steel Lance, 4 Javelins, 4 Hand Axes. While I was recording this, I forgot the next map has Javelins, Hand Axes, and Steel Lances for sale. I also buy 2 Steel Bows. 2 or 3, I forget. I believe it's 2. Yeah, 2. I forgot that the next shop has them for sale, next map. But there are things that I value more in those shops. We also get an additional 20k in the next map, so it doesn't really change anything. There are some enemies that can attack our units through that wall, and you might be wondering why we don't bait them over by looking like Lion. Well, one, that's because Lion one-shots enemies with, still at this point, silver weapons. Some enemies at least. And the things we need all of our units to be pushing forward. This map is long. If you go up the entire right side of the map, and then do a winding corridor, alongside, we also have to obviously kill the enemies in the way. Howard uses a sword for quite possibly the first time to one-arm the cavalry using silver sword. I should have given him a Steel Lance and perhaps it doesn't change anything really. Alice comes over here and uses his Steel Lance to weaken his sword. Not Steel Lance. Win the sword. While I was trying to set up this chapter, I had to restart a couple of times just to make sure that all my positioning was correct, and also to re-roll a particular enemy's stats. And rewatching the cutscene at the start, which I didn't know you could skip until I recorded this, gives you weapon experience on Siegfried, Anakin, and Kellic, as well as Sean. It doesn't matter for Siegfried because he already has those strength swords. By the way, his split with Sean there doesn't matter. It just makes him be able to handle this enemy phase more reliably. Sorry about that, I got interrupted. It allows me to handle this enemy phase. That crit that he gets is not necessary, although it does help out a lot with the experience distribution. Howard gets down on low HP, but it doesn't particularly matter. Emma is able to use Mend on him next turn. This sniper is a bloody rifle, but he also only has 13% hit on Howard, so the chance of death this enemy phase is fairly low. Emma should have taken a Javelin from Leopold. There's a cutscene here, we see a later boss, we skip it as soon as possible, it doesn't really change anything. Yeah, it is Leopold. She should have taken, I should have given Leopold an extra Javelin, because he doesn't end up using one of the weapons he has, which is a spear. I should have given that, and then she takes a Javelin and then throws a Javelin through the wall of the soldier. Gives her a tiny bit more lance experience. Doesn't particularly change anything. Turn 9. The end of turn 9 is when I'll play the last couple inputs out. I buy 2 pure water, 3 pure waters, 2 men's here. There's also a secret shop on this map, which is why Siegfried has a member card in the inventory. It sells short bows and physics, which we can again get next map. But it gives Siegfried something to do during this map, because he doesn't really do anything else. Shadow uses a Lancer there, 1 for increased accuracy, and 2 for extra sword rank. He's using it, he needs to get his sword rank up quite fast. However, we only have a couple uses on the map. We need a 1-use Lance Reaper, so we cannot break it this map. So we rescue drop Shadow up onto that mountain with the killing edge so that he can handle any enemies that attack him at 1 range. Shadow's a very, very strong. 15 strength, 22 attack, 22 speed, 21 skill. It's all very nice. Ben moves over there. I was distracted when I was doing that with him. And then Alice takes the javelin and the killer lens from the fighter. She gets a 4% crit with the wind sword. She would have with because that fighter's on a mountain and using the kill lens gave her only like 50%. Amma goes up and mends Howard. She uses 1 use of the physic and a few uses in mending this map. We're not particularly running low on anything. There are a couple other side objectives from this map. One of them is getting the last emblem weapon, which is on a warrior. Towards the on the very left side of the map. There are also a few chests to get. The one that's on screen now has a brave axe. One on the left side of the map has an earth seal. Yeah, an earth seal. And one has and the one to the left of that, to the right of that, has a Draco shield. There are 3 other chests we don't get. One of them is simply a bloody rifle, one of them is an adamant lance, and one of them is an eclipse stone. We do not need any of those. The most useful one is the adamant lance, but we don't need that. Lime one-shots quite a few enemies in this map, mostly mages though. Howard uses a short spear to win on his sniper. He already has a strength axis, so working on his lance strength is nice for him. Again, he wants to be able to use silver lances, but preferably chapter 26. During this map, another couple side objectives, quote-unquote, for this map, and also for the rest of the playthrough, are getting Alice to S-rank lances, Leopold to S-rank lances. That's mainly for the hit and crit. Alice needs the S-rank lance at some point. And to get Liquid to S-rank axes. Again, mainly for hit and crit. Brisk and Shadow also want to get to S-rank swords. Levion's X-rank doesn't have any weapon ranks that particularly matter besides B-rank lances for both Brave Lance and Spear. But his axe rank doesn't matter, although you will see me use the Devil Axe a few times in this map, because getting killed with the Devil Axe grants 16 weapon experience, and S-rank axes is better than having no S-ranks. Storm uses personal weapon to kill this Cavalier. This Cavalier was gunned down by Haas. During the next, on the next turn, Storm one-rounds a soldier with a kilogram crit, spoiler alert, and he is able to gain enough experience to promote whenever he needs to, if he needs to. Alice burns 2 RNs, and then Leopold kill-lance crits this armor. This armor drops the Brave Lance, which is a very nice tool to have. I suppose I should talk about the boss at this point. The boss is has a 1-2 range Shadow Sword, which we saw before. Actually, no, we have never seen it yet. No, we saw it on Logan, but whatever. It grants +2 strength. It's not particularly good. It's really heavy. It is like 15 weight or something like that. And a 14 weight. Ivan the boss has 16 speed. I mean, 20 speed, but gets weighed down to 15 by the weapon. And that means that Alice with the Iron Lance or Leopold with Steel Lance, Brave Sword, Silver Lance, Killer Lance can double him. Leopold reaches a rank lances in the middle of this map. It is good because he's going to need it by chapter 24. in case you're wondering who the stat boosters from some other things, well, the stat booster, I have not decided yet. Although it is not going to be given to the characters who are using the arena next map. Because I want their stats to be low-ish in order for them to have good arena fights. Leopold is carrying Anakin, and he is going to one round, well not one round, weaken some enemies on enemy face with the javelin. Emma moves over set cheese will be able to physically Leopold next turn. Sean and Karina both have chest keys, by the way, because they're the ones who are going to open the chest. Chests, rather. Leopold has a Delphi shield, mainly because he faces an Air Caliber mage. Right there. And that Air Caliber mage would have done a lot more damage to him if he didn't have it. Rescuing Anakin strictly necessary? No. Storm one rounds a soldier with 1 kilobar crit and 1 kilobar hit. That soldier has a javelin, so he's able to do a decent chunk of damage. However, he does reach level 10, so if he needs a promotion for +1 move in endgame to rescue drop that character, he's able to do that. Ben has the Emblem Blade equipped. Well, this in his inventory, mainly because he's nothing really better to have. I could give him a javelin, but he already doesn't see that much combat. I believe he only sees 3 rounds of combat during the entirety of the match. Maybe 4. What Ben should have done is taken Anakin, but then this also means that I can get Anakin closer to the enemy next to me. So it's a win-win situation. That moves over and physics Leopold. This is rather important, because Leopold is going to be our main frontline unit for us this map. 22 defense is really good, and so is 43 HP. It's mainly mages that damage him at this point. This mage deals 30 damage to him because if he dashed him, he would have killed him. If it hit. Well, no, he would have barely lived. But luckily, the hit rate is only like 30%. Karina has Shadow right now. Fun fact, Shadow is 8 Constitution and Anakin is 9. Anakin can rescue Shadow, which is something you will be seeing later in the map. It's rather comedic. Every unit that is not named Leopold, Alice, Lion, and Howard, and also Levion. So most of my non-mounted units are mostly working during self-improvement, such as Risk, Shadow. Okay. A lot of my units are focusing on self-improvement, other units are being used to help frontline, such as Risk and Shadow. The boss is going to be killed by a particular unit. This boss is a past with Lion, a good buddy Lion, who was in the same mercenary group. Well, yes, I'll spoil it now. Lion gets the boss kill. Well, yes, technically it should have gone to Alice or to Leopold. The RN string was actually rather inconvenient for that. And Leopold doubling him and crit. Leopold could one round him with a double crit, but the odds of that are rather low. There were Storm survival in some cases is actually rather nice. By the way, that's Storm reaching, I believe, A rank bonus. His contributions in Siegfried mode were pretty high, so. Liquid walks over with a steel axe and one finishes off a knife. Steel axes and steel lances give more weapon experience, as well as iron blades, giving more weapon experience to swords. I think mithril blades do that as well. Reaver weapons also give extra weapon experience, and short bows give me extra weapon experience. Anytime you see me busting out a steel weapon for something that isn't damage, it's because I need the extra weapon experience. Which is why Leopold used a silver lance instead of like an iron lance or even the emblem lance last time. I mean a steel lance, because it gets him closer to A-rank lances. Leopold equips the kill lance and uses the elixir. taking him out. He then moves down, so he's blocking a hero who can attack Howard from attacking Howard. Howard does not double that. Well, Howard does double that hero, but he doesn't in one round.
The power is within you.
Leopold does double him and has a high crit rate against kill rates, so he actually hits pretty good odds in one round. Levion has risk in his arms, and there's no rescue dropping risk onto a pillar. He also uses Steel Lance to significantly soften up all the enemies that attack, because he doesn't double any of them. He deals a lot of damage with his massive base strength and his and weapon tangle advantage, giving him a really good hit on top of this with skill. Anakin takes Shadow from Ben, which is admittedly a really funny sight. And then all my units move again, move forward again. Haas, Sean, Liquid, and Emma take the left side of the map, where everyone else goes to the right. Except for Storm, who stays outside for the entirety of the map. Levion would not double this guy anyway without a Steel Lance, but he does have enough attack speed. He does have full attack speed with Steel Lance. This hero attacks Lion because he technically has the best odds of, well, 1, avoiding a crit, and 2, just avoiding in general because he does not have weapon triangle disadvantage. This bishop then uses Physic against to heal up this mercenary. You may be wondering why we don't kill that bishop at the end of the map. He does not drop his Physic staff. If he did, I would go for the bishop instead of the enemy that I do go for. Sorry about that, I had to move up second movie. Leopold uses the Brave Lance to dumb him down this time. Technically, you could use a Killer Lance and double and single crit in a single hit, but using the Brave Lance is more reliable. The swap in and of itself, most of the map is actually fairly reliable, although there are some parts of it that are less reliable, such as on turn 8 enemy phase. I forget to equip a trigger weapon on a certain unit, and that prevents them from having a normal crit rate, I'll say that. That's Ben's last round of combat. Karina sees one more after this, after she one-shots a mercenary with the Killer Lance. The energy ring on her is starting to wane in utility, but it's still nice to have.
The power is within you.
It saved turns early on, so it was worth it in the end. Plus, it gives us a 14 strength flyer if we ever need a flyer flunky, just to hit 1 or 2 things. Anakin dances from that specific spot so that he can be rescued by Levion and then brought down further than anyone else. Storm moved 1 to the right last turn, just so that he wouldn't be in range of any other 2 range targets that move up. Or 2 range units, rather. I mean, everyone moves forward in order to push on as far as possible next turn. Siegfried gets the secret shot. Haas helps Sean with the chest. I mean, Emma does literally nothing at this point, although she in theory could have physicked the unit through the wall if need be. Shadow has the Lance Reaver still equipped. No, it's Killing Edge, rather. He just has high enough hit to have 100 hit on me soldiers. Because that would have broken the Lance Reaver. That soldier that attacked him, the second soldier, you might have noticed it only had 4 hit on him? That's because it was carrying an Axe Reaper. He moves down and equips the Lance Reaver here. Risk moves on again, and then you get to see the first of a few perilous rescue drops with Anakin. Alice moves suboptimally and not her full move, but this allows Ben to pick her up. She needs to help with the boss trip. Her lance training is important, and while her normal stats don't matter because she gets a buff to them pretty soon. Yeah, this is my one big mistake on this map. Leopold could have gotten that kill as well. It wouldn't have changed the RN string whatsoever. It would have gotten Leopold some more lance experience. However, he gets lance experience next turn anyway. It doesn't really change much in theory. Yeah. Leopold has 19 attack speed with steel lances, and the boss has 15 attack speed. So if I really needed extra weapon experience, I could have gummed down the boss and then doubled him with the steel lance by having 2 units critting. Liquid moves over and uses an iron axe instead of a sword reaver because of the knight that's going to attack him. And he also just wants to save uses the sword reaver. That warrior down there has the emblem axe, which is the second to last emblem weapon. We will get the last one next map. Making the second side quest that we completed. Storm moves over so that it can be next to Lavion, which sets up for the next player phase. Being next to Lavion means that mage cannot attack him. Shadow deals barely any damage to this general, but it's fine. He gets a tiny bit of sword experience, and he weakens the general, to the point where he can be killed with some combination of units. A crit there would have been nice with Liquid, but it doesn't change anything. Sean has reached A-rank swords at this point, through the cutscene glitch. I had to rewatch the cutscene 3 times, so he got through 3 rounds of combat. Not a big deal. Kellic also reached A-rank swords the first time I watched the cutscene, which you cannot skip on the first time around as far as I know, so that's unavoidable. Sean proceeds to finish off this warrior using the Silver Bombs, which is really cool. He reaches heavily promoted level 3, although that doesn't matter. You might have noticed that a thief here. That thief doesn't get the chance to do anything. You hope not have some cool steel kill thief after he stolen some shots, no. By the way, Liquid procced Silencer though. He also procced it earlier against the hero, I just forgot to comment on it. He's getting a lot of crits, and a lot of Silencer points. Also waits with the waits in the specific tile with the steel bow, not that tile, the one to the right. Mainly because it allows him to counter the mage at 1 range. I mean at 2 range. He does not double the mage with any weapon. And rigging a killer bow crit just wastes use for killer bow. "24 runs of with Storm, and then he moves down and one-shots the mage with crit. Just barely. That was mage whose stats kind of mattered. Lion moves down and not one round, weakens this general. This general has the crit lens, the Capuccio, which has like 50 and 60% crit innately. Which is why Shadow cut the lance. Karina finishes him off with the Emblem Lance. Not Emblem Lance, Adamant Lance. Which attacks Res. He gets another level, which is really nice. She also gets the Lucky Charm. This will either be sold later on, or it'll be used just before the final chapter. The first Lucky Charm was useful in Lion, because Lion sees a lot of enemy-based combat. However, the second one, much less so. I really should have waited to use the first Lucky Charm, or just sold it for a little bit of extra cash, but it's too late to change it now. Every extra 10k gold, every extra 8k gold is an additional stat booster in the end. Yvonne whiffs one of these attacks on this warrior, but it doesn't change anything. And then Shadow moves over to the left here. And oops, he forgets to change off his Lance Reaper. I meant to go for killing it originally, but then... Well, and originally, I mean when I was trying this map out. But then, this enemy phase, something actually quite cool happens. Because Lance Reapers give extra weapon experience. Compared to swords. I mean, compared to iron swords and whatnot. He is able to use the Lance Reaper just fine. Risk moves over. He doesn't really matter at this point. And then I buy 3 short bows, 2 physics. The Sword Crusher is rather nice. I believe it has 18 might against heroes, sword masters. Actually, it just has 18 might against swords. In general. Although I'm pretty sure it's specifically made for fighting sword masters and heroes. And also, I guess, Kellic's promoted class. Han moves down because he does something next turn. And I check on position. Emma could literally sit still for the rest of the map and it doesn't change anything. She could also go down for a tiny bit of anima experience and also let Liquid get a kill by baiting that shaman over, but it doesn't change anything. Leopold gets 1 kill lens crit, almost mercenary. And then I turn in animations here. Shadow does double this guy, so this gives him twice the weapon experience for only 1 use of the Lancer. Because he got a crit on the first, because he killed in the first attack, and he doubled, he still gets the weapon experience he would have gotten for doubling. This mage has 12 attack speed, so Haas cannot double him. However, Liquid could. Crane gets the Brave Axe chest here. And since Brave Axe is Luge, the Brave Axe is going to be used later on. It's not strictly necessary. However, how it is with strength axes, Leopold is not Leopold. Levion as a strength axes is nice in order to be able to. No, he's working towards his strength axes, even though it doesn't particularly matter. It's cool that I'll be able to.
The power is within you.
I'll be stopping the movie file shortly. It's cool that I'll be able to have a Brave Axe and then swing twice with units that have high strength. I'm stopping the movie file. Shadow heals up, because that Halberdier has a 1-2 range killer lance basically called the Drizzle, which is a rather nasty piece of work. Anakin is dropped to the left here so that he can see his next one. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the throw is no terrain cost. Sorry about that, I got interrupted again. Items are traded around.